In the heart of a vast, unforgiving desert, cloaked in the silence of centuries, lies a city unlike any other on Earth, not built with bricks and mortar, but meticulously sculpted from the living rock itself. Monumental tombs, soaring temples, and intricate dwellings emerging directly from the rose-red sandstone cliffs. This is Petra, the legendary capital of the Nabataeans. For millennia, its secrets remained guarded by towering canyons and the shifting sands of time. Who were the master builders who carved this impossible metropolis? How did they thrive in an arid wilderness, creating an oasis of wealth and culture? And why, after centuries of prosperity, did this magnificent city simply vanish from memory? This is more than an archaeological marvel. It's a profound enigma, a testament to human ingenuity, artistic vision, and a civilization lost and then dramatically rediscovered. This is the secrets of Petra, city carved from stone, where every cliff holds a forgotten story. In the vast, sun-baked expanses of the ancient Middle East, between the great empires of Egypt and Mesopotamia, lay a land often dismissed as desolate and uninhabitable, the Arabian Desert. Yet, within its seemingly barren embrace, a remarkable civilization flourished, carving an empire not through conquest, but through commerce. These were the Nabataeans, a mysterious and ingenious people who mastered the harshest of environments to become the undisputed titans of ancient trade. Their story begins not with grand battles, but with subtle, yet crucial skills. Originally nomadic Arab tribes, the Nabataeans were unparalleled experts in desert survival. They understood its hidden wadis, its ephemeral springs, and the subtle signs that betrayed precious water sources. This intimate knowledge was their first great asset. As early as the 6th century BCE, they began to settle not in lush river valleys, but in strategic, defensible locations deep within the rocky wilderness, particularly in the region known as Edom, which would become their heartland. The key to the Nabataeans' extraordinary rise lay in their strategic position. They inhabited the crossroads of the ancient world. From the Arabian Peninsula, across their territories, snaked the legendary incense and spice routes. These were the vital arteries of ancient commerce, connecting the opulent courts of Rome and Athens to the fragrant lands of Arabia Felix and the distant, exotic markets of India. Precious commodities like frankincense and myrrh used in religious ceremonies, perfumes, and medicines were incredibly valuable, worth more than gold in many ancient societies. Along with spices, silks, precious stones, and exotic animals, these goods flowed north, destined for the insatiable markets of the Mediterranean. The Nabataeans became the indispensable intermediaries of this lucrative trade. They didn't just facilitate transit, they controlled it. Operating like a sophisticated, ancient shipping company, they provided protection, water, and safe havens for caravans making the arduous journey across the desert. They developed an unparalleled network of caravan routes, charting every oasis and hidden cistern. Along these routes, they established fortified way stations and settlements, each carefully managed to resupply and protect the valuable cargo and its weary travelers. This control allowed them to levy taxes and tolls on the passing trade, steadily accumulating immense wealth. Their genius wasn't just in trade, but in water management, the ultimate commodity in the desert. In an arid land where rainfall was scarce and unpredictable, the Nabataeans developed an incredibly sophisticated hydraulic system that allowed them to capture, channel, and store every precious drop of water. They carved elaborate systems of channels, dams, and cisterns directly into the sandstone cliffs and wadi floors, directing rainwater from flash floods into underground reservoirs. This enabled them to not only sustain a large population, but also to cultivate crops, maintain lush gardens, and even support a thriving agricultural economy in the most unlikely of places. Their mastery of water was truly the lifeblood of their prosperity and the secret to building their extraordinary cities. The wealth generated from controlling the incense trade and their mastery of water allowed the Nabataeans to build their legendary capital, Petra, hidden deep within a natural fortress of rose-red sandstone mountains, accessible only through a narrow, winding gorge called the Sick. Petra was a city designed for both defense and dazzling display. While many of its structures would later be carved by hand from the living rock, the city began as a collection of tents and then houses, rapidly growing into a vibrant urban center. Their influence expanded beyond mere trade. As they grew wealthier, the Nabataeans also became formidable political players. While generally preferring diplomacy and commerce over outright warfare, they successfully defended their independence against powerful neighbors, including the Seleucid Greeks and even early Roman attempts at subjugation. Their deep knowledge of the desert, their hit-and-run tactics, and the impregnability of Petra itself often frustrated larger, more conventional armies. This military prowess, combined with their economic power, ensured their sovereignty for centuries. By the 1st century BCE, the Nabataean kingdom was at its zenith. Their influence stretched from the Hejaz in the south to parts of Syria in the north. Their cities, including Petra, were cosmopolitan hubs where merchants from across the ancient world met, traded, and exchanged ideas. This cultural exchange led to a unique blend of architectural styles visible in Petra, incorporating elements from Hellenistic, Roman, and Mesopotamian traditions into their distinct Nabataean artistic flair. While their written records are sparse, what remains hints at a sophisticated society with its own distinct language, religion, and social structures. The Nabataeans proved that true power in the ancient world wasn't always wielded by legions or vast empires, but could also be built on ingenuity, strategic location, and an unparalleled understanding of commerce and the environment. They transformed an inhospitable desert into the highway of ancient wealth, laying the foundation for a city of unimaginable beauty that would remain hidden from the Western world for centuries. Their mastery of the desert trade and water management were the foundational secrets to their improbable rise, setting the stage for the construction of a city that would defy nature itself. Having established their dominion over the desert trade routes, the Nabataeans turned their immense wealth and unparalleled ingenuity to the monumental task of transforming their capital, Petra, into a city that would defy nature itself. Hidden deep within a natural fortress of rose-red sandstone mountains, accessible primarily through the narrow winding gorge known as the Sick. Petra was not merely built. It was sculpted, hewn directly from the living rock, blending seamlessly with its dramatic natural surroundings. This fusion of architecture and geology is what makes Petra truly unique and an engineering marvel of the ancient world. The signature of Nabataean artistry is undoubtedly their rock-cut architecture. While they did construct freestanding buildings from quarried stone, their most iconic structures, the ones that captivate visitors today, were carved directly into the sandstone cliffs. Imagine the sheer scale of such an undertaking: monumental facades, soaring columns, and intricate details painstakingly chiseled out of solid rock, starting from the top and working downwards. This required an extraordinary understanding of geology, precise planning, and immense labor. Unlike traditional construction, where mistakes could be rectified by replacing a stone, an error in carving could be catastrophic, requiring the entire section to be abandoned or the design drastically altered. The most famous example of this rock-cut artistry is Al-Khazna, the treasury. Its majestic facade, nearly 40 meters tall, greets visitors emerging from the dark confines of the Sick. With its Corinthian columns, ornate friezes, and classical pediments, it showcases a remarkable blend of Nabataean artistry with Hellenistic and Roman architectural influences. Though popularly known as a treasury, it was most likely an elaborate tomb for a Nabataean king. Equally breathtaking is Ad-Dir, the monastery, perched high above Petra, even larger than the treasury. Its austere beauty and commanding presence atop a mountain speak to the spiritual aspirations of its creators. These aren't just facades. Behind them lie vast, often unadorned, chambers carved deep into the rock, serving as tombs, temples, or residential complexes. But Petra's survival in an arid environment hinged on an even more astonishing feat of engineering: their mastery of water management. In a region that receives scant and unpredictable rainfall, the Nabataeans transformed Petra into an oasis by meticulously harnessing every drop of water. They designed an intricate network of channels, dams, cisterns, and conduits that crisscrossed the city and its surrounding areas. Rainwater, flash floods, and even small springs were captured, diverted, and stored in vast underground reservoirs carved into the rock. These reservoirs, often lined with waterproof plaster, kept water cool and clean, accessible even during long dry spells. This sophisticated hydraulic system was critical for several reasons. It supported a large urban population, provided water for the caravans that fueled their economy, and, remarkably, allowed the Nabataeans to practice agriculture in the desert. They cultivated grapes, olives, and other crops in terraced gardens irrigated by their ingenious waterworks. This not only ensured food security, but also showcased their unparalleled ability to make the desert bloom, proving their mastery over the very elements that defeated lesser civilizations. The integration of water into the very fabric of the city was not just functional, but also symbolic, a testament to their deep understanding of their environment. The blend of architectural styles within Petra speaks volumes about the Nabataeans' cosmopolitan nature. As a crossroads of ancient trade, Petra was a melting pot of cultures. Their artists and engineers were exposed to Greek, Roman, Egyptian, and Mesopotamian influences, which they seamlessly integrated into their own distinct style. This syncretism is evident in the classical elements found on structures like the treasury and the royal tombs, often juxtaposed with unique Nabataean motifs or stylistic choices that distinguish them from purely Roman or Hellenistic designs. This ability to absorb and adapt foreign aesthetics while maintaining a unique identity is a hallmark of their sophisticated civilization. The Nabataeans' engineering prowess extended beyond monumental carvings and water systems. They built sophisticated roads, bridges, and even an elaborate system of rock-cut staircases that provided access to higher temples and dwellings. Their city was a living testament to their resourcefulness and their ability to adapt and innovate in an incredibly challenging environment. They created a thriving urban center that was both incredibly defensible, hidden behind its natural gorges, and remarkably livable, sustained by its sophisticated water supply. Petra, therefore, stands as more than just a collection of ancient ruins. It is a profound declaration of human will and ingenuity, a city born from the rock, sustained by a genius for water, and adorned with the artistic influences of a vibrant, interconnected ancient world. It is the physical manifestation of the Nabataeans' power, wealth, and their unique identity as masters of the desert. But even such a magnificent city, so carefully constructed and sustained, would eventually face forces it could not control, leading to its eventual decline and long slumber in the sands of time. For centuries, Petra flourished, its rose-red cliffs echoing with the clamor of merchants and the murmur of its ingenious waterworks. Yet, like all great civilizations, the Nabataean kingdom, in its magnificent capital, eventually faced forces beyond their control. The seeds of their decline were sown not by military conquest, but by a combination of shifting trade routes and the ever-expanding shadow of a colossal empire, Rome. As the Roman Empire consolidated its power, it increasingly sought to control the lucrative trade networks that had been the Nabataeans' lifeblood. Rome developed its own direct maritime routes through the Red Sea, bypassing the overland desert treks that Petra had so expertly managed. The opening of new ports in Egypt and Syria diverted much of the flow of spices and incense away from Nabataean control. While Petra remained a significant regional center, its vital role as the indispensable middleman of the ancient East-West trade began to wane, slowly eroding its economic foundations. The decisive moment came in 106 CE, when the Roman Emperor Trajan formally annexed the Nabataean kingdom, integrating it into the Roman province of Arabia Petraea. This was not a brutal conquest in the traditional sense. The Nabataeans were already largely under Roman influence. The annexation marked a political, rather than a violent end to their independence. Petra continued to thrive under Roman rule for a time, adapting to new administrative structures and even seeing the construction of Roman-style buildings like the colonnaded street and the theater. However, it was no longer the sovereign capital of a powerful trading empire. Further blows came in the form of natural disasters. A series of devastating earthquakes, particularly one in 363 CE, caused significant damage to Petra's water systems and many of its freestanding structures. While the city was rebuilt, its infrastructure was severely compromised. By the 7th century, with the rise of Islam and further shifts in trade patterns, Petra's strategic and economic importance diminished almost entirely. Its sophisticated waterworks, once its lifeline, gradually fell into disrepair. The inhabitants, likely dwindling in number, slowly abandoned the monumental rock-cut city, dispersing to more fertile or politically relevant areas. Petra, once a bustling hub, faded into the silence of the desert, becoming a legendary ghost whispered about by local Bedouin tribes. For centuries, the magnificent city remained largely lost to the Western world. Its existence was known only through fragmented ancient texts and local folklore. It became a myth, a romanticized idea of an impossible city. Then, in 1812, a Swiss explorer named Johann Ludwig Burckhardt, disguised as an Arab scholar, bravely ventured into the treacherous region. Guided by local Bedouins who had long known of the hidden city but guarded its secrets fiercely, Burckhardt rediscovered Petra, reintroducing its awe-inspiring beauty to European scholarship. His breathless accounts ignited a wave of archaeological and public fascination, slowly drawing the world's attention back to this forgotten wonder. Since its rediscovery, Petra has captivated archaeologists, historians, and travelers alike. Extensive excavations have unearthed more of its secrets, from residential areas to religious complexes. In 1985, Petra was rightfully designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognizing its outstanding universal value as both an archaeological treasure and a masterpiece of human creative genius. Today, it stands as Jordan's most iconic landmark, drawing millions of visitors who marvel at its rock-cut facades, its intricate water systems, and its profound connection to an ancient, innovative civilization. Petra's enduring legacy is multifaceted. It stands as a powerful testament to the ingenuity of the Nabataeans, a people who, against all odds, forged an empire in the desert through trade and unparalleled engineering. It reminds us of the fragility of even the grandest civilizations in the face of changing global dynamics and natural forces. But perhaps most importantly, Petra is a symbol of ancient ingenuity and the human spirit's capacity to create breathtaking beauty and functionality in the most challenging environments. Every carved facade, every ancient cistern, whispers a story of a lost world, inviting us to ponder the secrets still hidden within its rose-red cliffs.